Hey y'all, welcome to My Way Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expansive point of view as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. You guys, I got a new tarot deck. I actually got two. I got Mystical of the Shaman Oracle. I've been wanting this Oracle deck. And then I got Unveiling of the Golden Age. And like I told you guys last week, I'm gonna do some starseed readings this week for all the star beings out there. And I think this tarot, this Unveiling of the Golden Age, I think is like the perfect tarot deck for the energies that we're going to be interacting with. So I've obviously already been working with them just to connect, and I must say it was like instant connection. Like, listen, you remember last, like I'm gonna get like new tarot decks. I really underestimated how long it would take me to like actually find some tarot decks that I wanted to get. And then ngiyakhumbula looking at him in Amazon South Africa is gonna deliver in like 2-3 days. But guys, I ended up using Loot, and Loot took a whole month. And I'm not saying anything against Loot. I love Loot. I don't want to lie to you. Like, I've ordered, if not all, my tarot cards and oracle cards through Loot just because, yeah, they're cool. So I'm not saying anything against them, but they did take a month to deliver these. So I've been patiently waiting. So yes, today Andromedan star beings slash starseeds, which wherever you feel like you fit in within that spectrum, I'm talking to you guys today. Andromedan star system, or that state of consciousness, has a lot to do with the harmony, the beauty of the consciousness, of the subconscious, the secrets of the subconscious, and how the unveiling of those lead to a better reality for you. I actually once did an Andromedan reading. I'm gonna put the link in the description box, or I'll pin it in the comment section. I did an Andromedan reading like way back, like maybe a year ago, and it actually had to do with the codes to the Golden Age. So yeah, coincidentally, but that's basically what the Andromedans are about. They're about that timeline, the timeline that is known as the Golden Age, and the parts of your subconscious that not only lead you there, but the parts of the subconscious that open up when you start to reveal your version of a golden age. So Andromedans, unlike Anunnaki or Syrians, Andromedans are very much into flow. It's a very feminine state of consciousness, and also it's a very peaceful, harmonized state of consciousness. It's when you start to understand why certain things are happening in your life, and that which you do not understand, you are open to later understanding, which is to say, you are not very much into blaming other people or yourself for when things turn out not the way you thought they were going to turn out. You have the ability to observe. You have the ability to step back and let the universe do its thing. You have the ability to step back and allow nature to do its thing. You have the ability to allow the flow to work through you. And that's when you start to manifest a connection with the Andromedan part of your DNA. This is so cool. Look at this. We've got here Origins of Light, and this is talking about the transcendence of that dimension of life where you want to name certain events in your life as problems or as problematic, all because what happened is not what you thought was gonna happen. I should actually give a disclaimer just before. Guys, starseed readings are always high vibrational. It's always high frequency stuff. So yeah, don't be surprised if like a lot of the stuff is actually about that. It's about transcending the everyday type of like drudgery of life, which has a lot to do with lack, which has a lot to do with scarcity and being angry about this person did this to me and I don't like this person because they don't like me. Like, no, with obviously it's star beings, they're in the sky, they're the stars. It's like it's almost futuristic, which is to say it's a part of our timelines where we have transcended the whole, if I want something, I'm gonna unalive you to get it. Do you get what I mean? That whole caveman mentality, like, no, we're connecting to a very advanced aspect of ourselves, a very advanced aspect of our community type of thing. And the reason why we do that is to help us pull ourselves out of the parts of our consciousness that keep us in these dense dimensions where it's grab, 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 tit for tat, destiny swapping. Yeah, you know who you are. I'm talking to you. Like all that fear, around all that fear around our lives and what shall become of us, what will become of the things we love. Um these types of consciousness, like the star beings I'm going to be talking about this week, and particularly the Andromedans, are about a way of life, like I said, that is encouraged by flow. And a state of flow allows you to take in everything that's happening within your life because you're in a place where you understand that you are but one dimension of yourself. The things that are happening to you are other dimensions of yourself. The people that are happening to you are other dimensions of yourself. They are reflecting certain ways in which you feel about the world at large or how you feel about yourself. But there's ways to transcend those feelings, and there's a reason we use the word transcend and we don't use words like there's a way to get over those feelings or there's a way to push them aside, because that really wouldn't help. We transcend the feelings, which is to say we face those parts of ourselves, we face those parts of our lives, and get to understand ourselves through those things that are happening to us, through those people that are happening to us. We get to understand nature at large, ourselves at large, and through doing that we transcend a certain way of living where we are restricted by fear, by scarcity, by lack, and we grow into another state of living where we can now fully absorb the higher energies, the higher frequencies, the higher vibrations, which allow us to live in a more harmonic state of being, where there is understanding, because that's what love is. Love is a state of understanding. as you know, a lot of you have been working through transmuting certain energies. You see how here it goes from like these dark type of colors into like this lightness, and that also has to do with a sense of density, where through your karmic cycles that are represented through your lineages, through your ancestry, things like that. Through your karmic cycles, you are being led to release the denseness that is within you in order to raise you up to a more lighter state of being, which has to do with freeing yourself from also identifying with certain characteristics that have been in your bloodline, in your families, in your relationships, and allowing yourselves to build a version of yourself by yourself, like not allowing these states, these karmic stories to build your story for you, to tell you ukuthi wena, you are just this, you will always be this, you will never be anything else. No, you're releasing all of that and allowing yourself to conduct your own story and how it's being written. This is so beautiful. I'm actually even scared to say you're writing your own future. That's what you're doing right now. Like, because before you were just allowing old stories to keep on playing out within your life, and that's what created the cycles. The same thing again. You're meeting the same person, the same abusive relationship, the same toxic relationship, the same manipulative friend, the same fight with your mother, the same fight with your siblings over and over again, because you were allowing those stories of the past, the traumas that are happening, to write your story for you and say, Guti, you're a victim because this has happened to you. Therefore, and the more the story says you are the victim, the more you fall into victimhood, the more you fall into vibrations of these fights, into these relationships, into these connections. But because you started to say, I don't resonate with the story, I don't resonate with being a victim, I want to see what it's like to maybe stand up for myself. And okay, there were new challenges that come with that. Like when you have been a victim and you're not used to standing up for yourself, standing up for yourself can come with guilt. It can come with feeling like you went too far, like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, because you're so used to the certain narrative that everybody else is used to. Also, everybody's used to the fact that you're the scapegoat. If they want to feel good about themselves, they can come shit on you. But at some point you were like, no, I don't like the story, I want to change the story, I want to be a different character in the story, I want to be the one that moves out the way and lets you fight yourself. But you didn't foresee a certain guilt that comes with that. A guilt that comes with surviving that episode of being a scapegoat. And yet you're not able to stop. Like the next time it happens, maybe you allow again to yourself to be the scapegoat, you allow yourself to be the victim, and then you remember, actually no, I don't want to do this, I actually don't want to do this. So the next time you stand up for yourself again, and then the guilt comes again, and again you're thinking, am I doing something wrong? Are they right? Do I make them do this to me? Is it my fault that they keep doing this, that they keep hurting me? Is it me? But because also there is a spiritual team behind you, there is an Andromedan template that is awakening within your DNA, you can't help but think, yeah, there's no ways. There's no ways what this person is doing is right. There's no ways me standing up for myself is wrong. So then you keep feeding into that energy and you keep feeding into it. And the more you feed into it, the more you're starting to rewrite the narrative. You're starting to rewrite the story. Whereas before, how this story was going to go the way it's always gone, where you became the scapegoat, you carry on being a scapegoat, you pass on the scapegoatness into your family structure, where you now graduate to being the narcissistic head of this dynamic, of this dysfunctional dynamic, and now one of your children are the scapegoat and you're the narcissistic leader because you've passed it on from how you grew up, and now you're 10 times worse because you're also bitter about everything. So, and this child is growing up the way you did before, where you kind of had hope in yourself, and you know that to squash that hope, you're going to have to make them even more uncomfortable with themselves, because that's what someone did to you. That's how they dimmed your light. But that story is slowly evaporating. It's not going to happen like that anymore. You are rewriting your story, which means you are rewriting your future. And that's what it means when they say you are here to break generational karmic cycles. I don't like the word curse. You're here to break generational cycles that are toxic and that only lead further into lack of self-awareness and lack of self as a whole. Instead of going deeper down into this pit, you are raising yourself up high, and you don't understand that in doing that, you've completely changed the dynamic of your entire future. You're doing the most, and you don't give yourself enough credit. I think it's because you're not aware of how the story could have gone. You're going to keep getting assistance, and you're going to keep getting help. Yeah, totally. Oh, look, it says shadow cleansing, which is literally what you're doing. You are cleansing like the shadow parts of your lifeline, of your DNA, and therefore allowing more higher frequency parts of your templates to activate and to awaken, which allows you more and more to escape. I'm going to use the word escape, to escape the lower vibes and the lower realms, because you can't escape if you haven't opened up higher dimensions. Then you're stuck. The only ways, and that's why sometimes you feel stuck, it's because you're just wishing on a star. Like, you want to escape your dynamic, but you're not willing to face what's actually happening in your dynamic, like the fact that this person is a piece of shit, this person's a piece of shit, this person's a piece of shit. Like, you don't want to face that. You want to be saying like, no, they're just having a bad day. They're just in a bad mood. No. They're a piece of shit. And they take out that part of themselves where they hate themselves. They take it out on you. Stop allowing them to do that by giving them this pass. And that's why sometimes you feel trapped, because by denying what's happening, you cannot open any of the higher dimensions. It's impossible. But when you start to accept, when you start to see things for the way they really are, then you begin to open the higher dimensions. You begin to create a stairway, a staircase into another way of being. And in that way, you rewrite your story and your future. So that's what I have for you guys from the Andromedans. If it resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to book a reading, all the information is in the description box. Cool, y'all.